Before we begin, just obviously little brief disclaimers. We're a regulated environment, so we got to throw these up here. We don't provide any type of tax advice. We do not. We're not attorneys. We're not accounting advice. Majority or decent amount of this information was helped prepared by the Allianz Insurance Company. We're not affiliated. We're not representatives of them, but we do have to give them credit for some of the slides that are here. A little bit about CIG, what we do. For those of you who don't know, although looking around the room, I think most of you do, we're a wealth management and financial planning firm. We were started actually in 1997 by Osman Minkara, and we've since grown to the stature that we are now. We focus in on wealth management and financial planning for our clients. And quite frankly, what does that mean to you? That means we look out at all facets of your management. So we're going to be today talking a little bit about Social Security, which is one piece. But again, that's one piece to the overall puzzle to say how can we make sure that we grow, protect, and then ultimately look to transfer or your wealth, and how do we continue to move from there. Next, we're going to talk about income benefits. So the income benefits is what people traditionally think Social Security is about. Again, that check coming in every month, hits my bank account, I can use it, I can live with it, I can spend it. Now, question we get is, how do I qualify? How do I know if I've deemed enough working time in order to qualify for these benefits? And what they said is, most workers need 40 credits or roughly 10 years worth of work, okay? The way they calculated credits kind of changed over the years, and they've kind of made it a little bit more stringent. If you were through before 1977, pretty much you earned $50 in a quarter, you got a credit. And as we went down through 2015, that number has increased to get the bare bones minimum. And then it also caps out at a certain amount. So if you're making over, it's like $106,000 this year is for the Social Security wage cap. That's in essence where they cap it. They don't look at any additional income above there. Now, how do they calculate it? So, how do I know how much I'm going to receive? And what they do is they take what they call as your primary insurance amount. And your primary insurance amount, they take a look at your last 35 to 40 years, depending on your age, of earnings histories. And they say, okay, how much have I been making? They average that out, and again, it's a formulaic base to say this is how much benefit you're going to receive. So they take that average and they say, okay, that's my primary insurance amount, that's how much the number is. That equals at your full retirement age, which is the FRA, that's how much money you're going to get on a monthly basis. Again, different for everybody, and the way you calculate this, quite frankly, go to the Social Security site and they'll tell it to you. Because when you go online, you can actually, and it looks and it says, okay, here's my reported income over the last however many years, they go back. So if you have 35 or 40 years worth of working history, literally you can see, okay, 1980.
They take all of those in consideration?
And then what they'll do is they'll say, okay, 1982 I made X dollars. In 1980 whatever, 1990 something, 19 whatever it is. And again, it's up to a cap. So that cap slowly kind of increases. So if you've been making, mid six figures all throughout your career, you're generally capped out at every level along the road, but it will go back and do this. Where some people get tripped up though a little bit on this is if you had unreported income, where it's not necessarily flowing through from a Social Security standpoint, they don't know about it, that doesn't count. So you got to look at that from how you get paid. So self-employed business owners, that type of thing, you got to watch from a Social Security standpoint, because while it might be helping you today, it might hurt you a little bit down the road from there. With that being said, we're going to kind of conclude the rest of the presentation. What I recommend for everybody here, if there's additional questions, let's sit down and talk. As I said, the best thing and the first thing I'm going to tell you to do, if we're going to talk specifically Social Security, go onto the Social Security website, print out your most recent benefits, make sure to either fax those to me or get them to me beforehand so I can run some analysis. So we're not playing what if, we're going to play specific to your situation, and if we can have these conversations to see what makes the most sense. Again, as we do our planning for our clients, this is something that we do kind of as an integral part of what makes sense, how does it make sense, and are we going to continue to work, or are we going to take it early from there?
Securities offered through CIG Securities, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services available through CIG Asset Management, a SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance services provided by CIG Risk Management. All are wholly owned subsidiaries of CIG Capital Advisors.